Okay, so I believe we're live at this point. We are actually going to have a session with industry keynote. We are, of course, thrilled to have all the speakers highlighting their implementation of Jakarta EE technology. I just want to point out that we actually have more implementations than speakers today, and here is where you can find it at Jakarta EE compatible products page. But today we will start with Will Lyons and Oracle, and then we'll move to Payara and Steve Millage. I will bring David in as soon as I take off my screen here, or space, another space for screen. Then we'll have Fujitsu with Yuichi Kusano, and then finally we'll close with IBM and ours dear Nottingham. So let me just hand it over to Will.
Too many video sources. Okay, thank you very much, Tanya. Hello, everybody. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. My name is Will Lyons. I manage product management at Oracle for Oracle Enterprise Cloud Native Java. And I'm doing the Oracle Keynote here for JakartaOne Livestream. My presentation contains a bit of forward-looking information, not much covered by the Oracle Safe Harbor statement. We're really excited about shipping Jakarta E9, and I've been involved in this project for a number of years now, and this is a really important milestone for the overall project. And so I'd like to say a thank you for everybody who's helped make this possible, to all the committers and contributors to both Jakarta E9 specifications and to the Eclipse Glassfish compatible implementation. Tanya is actually hosting a session later today to celebrate some of the contributors and committers who really stepped up from the community to deliver this release, and I encourage you all to attend that session. I'd also like to thank all the vendors, some of the partners we've been working with, supporting projects who've begun adopting and supporting Jakarta E9 technologies. It's really been fantastic. I'd like to thank everybody in the Jakarta E working group, the platform team, the spec committee, the marketing committee, and the Eclipse Foundation for helping to shepherd the work of the Jakarta E working group through. There's been tremendous contributions from a whole community of people, and Micah, just a moment ago, also Mike. I'd also actually thank Kevin Sutter and Steve Millage, who will be speaking in just a minute, and Scott Marlowe for their leadership in bringing the EE9 project to completion. When Jakarta EE8 first launched, Oracle was doing the lion's share of the work, no pun intended on my last name. This is much more of a community-driven effort with a very level contribution across all of the vendors involved. And Oracle remains a strong contributor, and I'd like to just call out my own team, Ed Brott, Dmitry Kornilov, and the entire team that they manage, who've contributed to individual specs, did a lot of work helping getting the TCK running, and a variety of contributions. I'd like to thank everybody who's presenting today, and just to echo the presentation we saw a few minutes ago from Ed Brott on Bill Shannon. Bill Shannon was the spec lead for Java EE specifications for many years. We wouldn't be here. He passed away this past year. We would not be here today without Bill. I feel his loss every day, and you should take a look at Ed's tribute to him, which was very moving. Okay, Jakarta EE and Cloud Native. We at Oracle believe there's terrific opportunities for vendors and for end users and our customers to leverage Jakarta EE technologies today and into the future. We at Oracle, we have a huge WebLogic server customer base. Many of those customers are successfully running their businesses on WebLogic server applications. WebLogic server passes all the Jakarta EE8 compatibility tests, supports Jakarta EE8. It can run on-premise, and now we support running Jakarta EE8 applications and prior releases of the technology on premises, on Kubernetes, and in public cloud. So this is something we see a lot of demand for in our customer base, and we're supporting that. We're simultaneously investing in microservices technologies like microprofile technologies that leverage Jakarta EE APIs to run alongside the traditional Jakarta EE applications. And we're building out technologies which enable you to mine combined logical applications that combine Jakarta EE, microprofile, other microservices technologies to manage your applications in containers and Kubernetes and manage them as a unit. And we see many customers who are looking at embarking on this path of moving from traditional physical machines and virtual machines to cloud native infrastructure using containers and Kubernetes, and we're investing to enable them to do that. Our product line is called Oracle Enterprise Cloud Native Java. It includes WebLogic Server, which is a Jakarta EE8 supporting application server technology. It includes Oracle Coherence, which is a Java-based in-memory data grid technology that can be used by multiple application technologies for caching and also does in-memory processing itself. Our product line includes Helidon. Helidon is a Java microservices framework that supports microprofile 3.3. It's supported with WebLogic and can be used to build microservices running alongside Jakarta EE applications or standalone microservices. And finally, we're investing in a new project called Verrazano, which is a cloud native Kubernetes-based infrastructure for managing applications that comprise both old traditional and new microservices technologies that can span Kubernetes clusters, can span on-premise and public cloud deployments. We're investing in tools, in services in Oracle Cloud, in the Fusion middleware products and applications that run on WebLogic, and operator technologies for coherence. We've open sourced Coherence and delivered a community edition. We are continuing to invest in our Helidon microservices runtime and support for all of these technologies running on Graal VM as well as Java SE, and also investing in this new open source Verrazano project for managing applications deployed in Kubernetes. Some things that are coming up very shortly are our new update of Helidon, which will support virtual threads, or Project Loom, the OpenJDK project, which will support microprofile GraphQL standards and integration with Micronaut. We're also doing a new release of Coherence Community Edition, which will support integrations with WebLogic, Helidon, Hibernate, Polyglot clients, and new integration work with Spring and Micronaut. So we're investing a lot in this space, and we're investing in Jakarta EE, and we hope that all of you can leverage the technology. So I hope I didn't use too much of my time, and I will stop and turn it over to Steve, I think.
Okay, let's just share. Okay, can everyone see that? Because I can't see anything. Okay, just a bit about Payara and what we're doing in Jakarta EE9. So we've been heavily involved in the Jakarta E9 release. We've got a whole list of things that we are doing in which we're involved in. So, for example, we are the strategic members of the Jakarta E working group. I'm a member of the PMC for EE4J. So EE4J is the open source projects where the actual sort of work goes on. The working group is where companies collaborate to steer and drive the marketing and the awareness of the initiative. So we're involved in both sides of that. I've been Jakarta E9 co-lead with Kevin Sutter from IBM, mainly focused on getting Eclipse Glassfish out as a compatible implementation of Jakarta E9. As Will said and Mike said in his keynote, to get a release of Jakarta EE out, we also need a release of the compatible implementation. So I've led that. And then a lot of my team are involved in lots of other various projects on EE4J. There's a lot of components that are involved, not just the APIs. There's a lot of implementation projects, and my team have been involved in that. So moving into Payara platform. So we are a Jakarta E compatible platform. We are Jakarta E compatible 8. Payara server is both compatible on web profile, which we got just a few days ago, and full profile, which we've had for a long time. So we are a fully Jakarta E compatible implementation. Our focus really in developing Jakarta EE really is to look at modernizing Jakarta EE. And what we mean by that is there's a lot of developers out there who have skills in Jakarta EE development. One of the beauties of Jakarta EE, as we'll see later as well, is the split between the runtime and the deployment and the development of your business application. And so we've been working heavily from the beginning to take Jakarta EE developers onto different deployment models and different platforms. So Payara server and supports out of the box all the public cloud providers. It does clustering out of the box on AWS and Azure and others. So we're looking at driving Jakarta EE onto the cloud. We work well in containers. So we have our Payara Micro product, which is designed to be embedded into container runtimes and supports secrets from Kubernetes and small type Docker images as well through CDS and OpenJ9. We're also focused on making sure the tool chain works through the DevOps cycle. We're also being involved in bringing Jakarta EE developers onto IoT platforms. Payara Micro, again, is focused on building the smallest full Jakarta EE runtime that we can create, given the technology. As I said earlier, we are driving forward Jakarta EE as an initiative. And we're also we're founding part of MicroProfile, and we'll be joining the MicroProfile working group in the new year. And Payara server and Micro both support MicroProfile APIs. So how are we going to support Jakarta E9? So we already have a tech preview out there that supports some Jakarta E9, but we're not a full compatible implementation, and we aim to do that within basically in the first half of 2021. The way we're supporting it initially is we're using the Eclipse Transformer. You will take a Jakarta E9 application and deploy it to Payara 5. It will detect that it is Jakarta E9 and basically transform the namespace back to Jakarta E8. And that means we'll be able to run Jakarta E9 and Jakarta E8 on the same Payara 5. I mean, say we're going to focus that initiative to get full compatible implementation. The next version of Payara will be a Jakarta E9 or Jakarta E10 runtime, and we will support backwards compatibility for Jakarta E8. It's likely that we will basically forward transform a Jakarta E8 application into a 9/10 application at deployment time, and we'll support full backwards compatibility for that. We may also create a toolchain that can do that transformation before deployment time to speed up deployment. And I want to talk.
Steve, sorry for interruption. You see how you have stop sharing and hide? If you can click that hide button, people are commenting they don't see everything
Sorry. Yeah, now I won't have
That's
to stop
okay.
sharing.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. And then finally, one of the new initiatives that we're involved in at the moment is looking at how you take Jakarta EE and deploy to the cloud. So as I mentioned, one of the big benefits of Jakarta EE is it splits deployment away from the definition of the runtime. And what we're going to do in our new product called Payara Cloud is we're basically doubling down on that split. So we are building a new cloud native application server, which will just take an application and deploy it onto public cloud or onto on-premise Kubernetes. So what Payara Cloud will do is, as I said, you will just take a WAR file, a Jakarta EE deployment artifact, and then you will deploy it to Payara Cloud, which will be a Kubernetes native / cloud native app server on runtime. So what that's going to do for you is that was going to do all the hard stuff that's involved in actually getting an application running on a cloud platform or on a Kubernetes platform. So it's going to build Docker images. It's going to do all the YAML configuration. It's going to build a container image. It's going to configure all your pods, integrate it with microprofile config and secret stores, and then provision it through Kubernetes on top of VMs and configure the ingress through the API gateway. So we're basically taking that concept of Jakarta EE that's been there from the very early days of splitting deployment from development and from the runtime and building that new implementation of the Payara platform. So this, we think, is really exciting. I mean, the whole purpose of Jakarta EE is to separate runtime issues away from business logic issues, and we believe that this is the way to do that for cloud. A lot of cloud is about infrastructure, not about application development. So we're going to run a closed beta for this, starting in February. If you're interested, then you can sign up at payara.cloud. And also, if you're interested in other things that were involved in the Payara platform, we run a global meetup. And if you join us there, then you get notified of all our events and talks and any community stuff that we're going. Thanks.
Thank you, Steve. So I think we'll move right along, and the next one is Tomitribe and Payara. Oh, sorry, Tomitribe and David Blevins.
Okay. Here.
Yeah, we can hear you, and you can share your screen if you wish.
Doing that. So, okay.
And Steve, I'll let you go.
Okay, I'm David Blevins, and I'll be talking a bit about Apache Tommy, some of the collaborations we're doing on the Tomitribe side, and a call to action. And I will try to not go over my time. Okay, so first a bit about Tomitribe. So we do, of course, support for Apache Tommy, Tomcat, ActiveMQ, and our API gateway we call Livestream. And the company is founded by creators of the Apache Tommy project. And we've got a lot of years. We actually haven't updated that number of years combined contribution to Apache Software Foundation, but it's quite a lot. And primarily what we offer people is 24/7 support and CV scanning and patching for those open source components. And our package we call the Community Partnership Program, which offers support, services like professional services, training, and stuff like that for customers who have higher core counts. So it's pretty nice. What I'll be talking about is where we are with Tommy, the collaborators that we're doing. And before I do that, I really kind of wanted to take a heartbeat here and say thank you to Bill Shannon. And I'll try to not get choked up, but Bill has had a really strong impact on my career. And it's really difficult to describe how much where I am is a reference to Bill. There was a period of time where I was actually offered a position to be on the Java EE team, and turning it down was the thing that I needed to get off my butt and finally make Tommy a real thing. And that whole team was incredibly supportive after that, giving us lots of speaking opportunities at JakartaOne and so on and so forth. And so it's not possible to thank somebody like Bill enough. So I'll just go on from there. So Apache Tommy is right now 97% complete on the Jakarta EE web profile TCK. We're passing about 31,000 tests on Tommy 9. And we're still trying to get caught up on the Jakarta EE8 TCK, and we're passing about 98% of that on Tommy 8. But the interesting thing about this is we're doing both of those versions, Tommy 8 and Tommy 9, from one code base. And so, you know, the way where we were handling that is we take Tommy 8 zip files and binaries, which are compiled and built in final form, and we run them through a combination of the Eclipse transformer and a plugin that we wrote called the Tommy Patch plugin. And we end up getting Tommy 9 out the other side with all the namespaces translated to Jakarta. And so those numbers that you saw of 97 and 98%, the reason they're so close is because, you know, when we make an advancement on a Jakarta EE8 TCK test, it also helps make us an advancement on that same test under Jakarta EE9. And so the interesting thing about that is that, you know, there is some potential for us to do the reverse of this. So when we get around to actually swapping and changing the code base over in source code format from JavaX to Jakarta, we can do the same process in reverse, which is take our Jakarta namespace Tommy 10 and make a JavaX version of it where you can run your JavaX apps and then you don't have to deal with any transformers or any complexity. So that's one of the thoughts of how we're going to continue to offer backwards compatibility. You know, I'll take a heartbeat and notice, you know, we've been web profile certified this entire time. Jakarta EE9 eliminates a couple of the APIs that we had not implemented intentionally, which are Corba and the very old JAX RPC. So those are completely gone and deprecated in Jakarta EE9, and so there's a very strong likelihood you'll see some form of full profile certified version of Tommy for Jakarta EE9 at some point. We launched off something I talked about very briefly in last year's industry keynote, which is a system that we've been using to get our tests all running up in Amazon EC2. I talked about that a really long time ago when Tommy was announced. We've been able to resurrect that and get it back into running form now that the TCKs are open source. And that is currently dedicated to Tommy, and we'll be expanding that out to other Apache projects as we go along. So first, some collaborations that we're doing this year are really interesting. So one, the one that's most exciting to me is we're collaborating with Sonatype at this moment for the last, maybe since about May till now, to scan all of Maven Central. And we're basically using this bytecode tool that we wrote to look inside jar files and analyze their usage of JavaX packages that are all getting renamed so we can see how strongly impacted these jars are. It will also analyze if there is any usage of Jakarta namespace. And so right now that is hooked up to Maven Central, and we get, we've done about 10 million scans, scanned about 10 million artifacts so far, and we're getting about 200 new batches, not just scans of individual jars, but batches of jars daily. So we're sitting on a heap of data, and we hope to do some very interesting things with that in 2021. I'll give you a snapshot of kind of one of the interesting things we've found. So of the 1,200 artifacts there are in the org Spring Framework group ID, about 699 of them are dependent on APIs in the Jakarta namespace. So that's, you know, over 50%. Of those jars, they're using 32 out of the 36 JavaX APIs that we have in the Jakarta world. And for example, there's 462, 4 of them using bean validation, 456 of them using servlet, and big surprise, but 339 of them using EJB. And that's just a summary. Like I say, I would have to give stats on 32 individual JavaX packages, and that's a lot of data. We do hope to share that globally for all of Maven Central at some point in 2021. The other one is Jelastic, and we really wanted to make sure that our cloud vendors and our tools vendors are taking the namespace change seriously. And we reached out to a lot of people, and they were one of the first and one of the strongest, probably the strongest company that said, yes, let's do this. And they did a lot of work to get the Jakarta namespace supported in their cloud platform. They joined the micro-profile working group to help found it, so they were one of the founding 5 members. And then they joined the Jakarta EE working group immediately afterwards. And we couldn't end this year without saying thank you to them for their strong support of Jakarta EE 9. And then, the call to action for everybody is please understand that the JavaX changes affect everybody, and do not let anybody say, oh, that's just for EE platforms. It doesn't affect me because I don't use EE. As you saw by the previous slide, 50% of Spring's artifacts in Maven Centrals are affected. You are not going to be affected at 0. So also, when you see a vendor supporting the Jakarta namespace aggressively, reward them with your business. That's how you make more of that happen in the industry. And then when you are using a tool that should be supporting the Jakarta namespace, and they do not, such as monitoring tools, cloud platforms, ask them when they will support that. You don't have to be aggressive or mean about it, just simply ask it, because a lot of these companies are driven by customer demand, so you actually have the ability to steer that decision with your demand. And so please see this as some things that you can do to help shape the industry. And these things all add up. And I've whipped through these things and hopefully not gone too far over, but I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who supported this release this year, and hope you enjoyed the very brief keynote here.
So, David, just a quick question for you while you're here. Tommy EE is work on OpenEJB. Is that merged with Jakarta EE?
Well, so I'll stop sharing so I can just see. We actually built the Tommy code base inside the OpenEJB code base. When things were launched off in 2011, there was maybe 70 class files, which were actually Tommy class files, and everything was built on top of the OpenEJB code base. And it's drifted since then, but we actually just renamed the OpenEJB project to Apache Tommy to acknowledge the fact that that was the brand that everybody identified with.
Okay, thank you, David. Can you chat in the window with the person and maybe take it offline? I just don't want to take time from Fujitsu as well.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we have a presentation from Fujitsu here. So Yuichi, do you want to introduce yourself and get going?
Sure.
Thank you.
Can I hear my voice and see screen?
Yes. Looks great.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Yuichi Kusano. I'm working for Fujitsu, and I'm in charge of Fujitsu application server. Today, I will talk about Fujitsu Cloud Native Java strategy. But before that, for those who don't know what Fujitsu is doing, let me introduce the history of Fujitsu and Java briefly. Fujitsu has a long history about Java technologies, more than 20 years. This year, 2020, is the 25th anniversary of Java. This means in 1996, JDK 1.0 was released. At that time, At that time, Fujitsu worked for the internationalization and localization of Java with some microsystems. Oh, sorry. Some microsystems. While we keep contributing to Java community, Fujitsu provides the Java technologies into the market on various platforms such as a server and mobile phone and even mainframe. In 1918, Jakarta EE Working Group is established, and Fujitsu has been strategic member since its inception. And we are contributing cloud-native Java technologies to the Java community. In this year, we worked for defining Jakarta EE9 specification and through the specification committee and worked for development of Glassfish, which is one of the compatible implementation of Jakarta EE9. Finally, last month, Jakarta EE9 is released. Congratulations. As you see here, historically, we have a lot of related Java products, but our current main product is Java application server. Until Jakarta EE was released, our main product is Interstage, which is Java EE certified application server. Interstage has a large market share in Japan and also has been sold in the global market. Interstage is designed for the enterprise mission critical system using high reliability technology derived from our mainframe experience. Our products are used by all of mission critical systems such as financial, government, telecommunication, manufacturing, and so on. As you may know, 2 years ago, Java EE technology transfers to Eclipse Foundation as the name of Jakarta EE. Because we think Jakarta EE is very important for the current and future IT systems, which established Jakarta EE working group with other vendors, IBM, Oracle, Payara, Tomitribe, and Red Hat. We have been a strategic member of the Jakarta EE working group since its inception. We are participating in 3 committees, the steering committee, specification committee, and marketing committee in order to drive the Jakarta EE ecosystem. In addition to the Jakarta EE working group, we also contributing to the Glassfish project. And now we have launched the new product, which is called Fujitsu Software Enterprise Application Platform as a Jakarta EE compatible product, just released in October 2020. This product consists of the open standard technology, Jakarta EE OpenJDK, and microprofile. This product is designed for use of the cloud-native system leveraged by the open standard technologies. That is Jakarta EE and microprofile. We use Glassfish as our implementation of Jakarta EE and use Launcher as our implementation of microprofile. In addition to that, this product offers high reliability and high availability features which are based on our mainframe experience. For example, it monitors application process, and if it detects something wrong with the system, it automatically recovers the process in order to keep system runs. This product provides a long-term support which is more than 7 years. We also provide the professional support service, which is 24 hours a day, 365 days a year support. So this product can support the stable operation of the enterprise mission critical system. Next, let me show the roadmap of enterprise application platform briefly. Right now, the current version of the product includes Glassfish 5.1 as the implementation of Jakarta EE8, and Launcher as the implementation of Microprofile 3. And we are working for next version of our product, which may include Jakarta EE10 and Microprofile 4. While we are working with the cloud-native technologies, there are a lot of customers using legacy technology, specifically on-premise system. For those customers, we keep providing compatibility in our product. And for the customers who want to use the cloud-native technology, including Cloud Lift and Shift, we provide Jakarta EE and Microprofile technology as Fujitsu Software Enterprise Application Platform product, which I introduced today. Finally, we will continue to contribute our technology to Jakarta EE and Microprofile committees. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So we'll move right along. There are some comments in the chat if you want to talk further about Fujitsu, but I'll bring Alistair on the screen, and we'll talk some more about IBM's implementation of Jakarta EE technology. Thank you so much, Yuichi.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Alistair Nottingham, and I'm the IBM representative on this vendor keynote. And what I wanted to talk about is a little bit about what we're doing with the Jakarta EE9 work. And we've already, we've been involved in Java and Jakarta EE from the pretty much the beginning. And as not to undermine anything that anyone else has done, but Kevin Sutter, who was working with Steve as one of the releasing, is an IBM employee. So we're just very much engaged in this whole effort. And what we're doing around Jakarta EE9 is based around Open Liberty, which is our open source Jakarta EE implementation. And it's based on the WebSphere runtime, which has been around for a long time, but it's open source, and it was designed with a very specific set of requirements. One of which was we really wanted to make it a modular runtime so we could support multiple versions of the specifications at the same time. So through this, we've managed to provide a runtime that supports Java EE7, Java EE8, Jakarta EE8, and in beta currently Jakarta EE9. And one of the reasons for doing this is it means that we can add new capability and new function to the runtime, and also provide that to people who need different versions of the specifications. And that's kind of prescient, really, because although it's the Eclipse Transformer project, which David and Steve have talked about already, make it very easy for you to migrate your Jakarta EE applications from 8 to 9. That's still work that you need to do. And we don't want to see people having to, leave applications behind or invest a huge amount to bring them forward, just to get new development efficiencies and production efficiencies. So in terms of our Jakarta EE9 implementation, we're 98% of the way through passing the web profile compatibility tests, and we're 97% of the way through the full platform. If you want to pick up and play around with our implementation, it's available either through Maven Central or as a download from the Open Liberty project website. And the way that, as with others, one of the ways we've been able to kind of do this much more quickly than it's been in the past is because of the Eclipse Transformer project, which we've been developing with others and implemented with others to help us accelerate the implementation of Jakarta EE9. And now that Jakarta EE9 is behind us, I'd like to add something to the call to action that David provided, which is really now that we've got 9 out of the way and the package rename has occurred, now is the time when we're going to be looking at what improvements and changes need to be fed into the Jakarta EE project and the programming model. This is an excellent opportunity for people to get involved and get engaged in the evolution of the APIs in a way that kind of hasn't been possible in the past. That's the reason why it's been moved to the Eclipse Foundation, and it's not just the vendors who have a stake in it. It's the user base, the people who are developing for these APIs that have a stake in the future of Jakarta EE and need to make it a success. So I'd really encourage everyone to get involved and try to influence the future of these APIs.